Good morning, welcome to today's reading. So I was going to pick some runes and some cards and see just where this reading goes basically. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm quite new to YouTube, even though you may see I've got videos on there from some time ago, but over the past few months I've started to do more online readings. So please do like and subscribe to my channel. I do really appreciate it, and thank you for those that have left comments and already liked and subscribed. So this reading today then, if you are here watching this video, then there is something in this reading that will resonate with you, that will be for you. So I wish you all well on your journey, wherever you are and whatever's happening in your life. I do hope that this reading gives you just a little bit of hope and clarity, or even just a space for you to be right now if you're going through something quite heavy. So let's see what the overall reading is about today. Okay, this has come up quite a lot lately. This is the rune Algiz, and it's all about boundaries and protection. So you may be feeling a little bit vulnerable at the moment. This may be a place for you where you're feeling a bit like you're trying to keep a barrier between yourself and the world around you. With Algiz, I really hope you're being gentle with yourself, because it's got an energy where bringing that gentleness in. Excuse me. Sorry, I've had a bit of a cold lately and it's still lingering there. Maybe that's something to do with you. Perhaps if you haven't been feeling great, and also clearing the throat as well. Maybe you're not asking for help right now. You're sort of just protecting yourself. You're putting yourself in a place that could possibly feel a little bit isolating. So if that resonates with you right now, just have a think about that. Are you feeling like you're protecting yourself? You're placing boundaries around yourself with other people, and perhaps not feeling great at the moment. So what's your higher conscience about? Okay, so we've got lagers on there. You may be dreaming a lot. What I'm feeling from this, and maybe you don't normally dream, and maybe you've just suddenly started having quite powerful dreams. These could be messages for you. You may be seeing number patterns as well, and just generally feeling like there are signs and things that are telling you something. So these are all like downloads from your higher conscience, from your higher self, trying to keep that flow for you, trying to give you signs and messages to show you the direction. So I do feel that this is about dreaming, and loggers in your higher conscience, you do have the ability to create flow, but right now it's almost like you're that beaver putting the dam up in the river. It's like, you don't need to do that, but you feel right now maybe that's a distraction for you, maybe that's helping you. You're trying to block something from entering, and your higher conscience is trying to create that flow by giving you these signs, giving you these images and things for you to understand. So I'm going to place that one on there. Now this is the trickiest one, is your subconscious, because obviously with your subconscious, it's not thoughts that are prominent in your mind. It's things that are going on in the background that maybe you aren't aware of. So we'll have a look and see what your subconscious is telling you right now. Okay, so your subconscious, you are working towards a commitment to yourself. I do feel like you've made a sacrifice here. Perhaps you sacrificed something that meant a lot to you, and it's got an energy to it of actually being quite hard on yourself. It's difficult to. I do get it. I feel like you're going through a bit of a spiritual awakening. So it's you're between two different paths of kind of like, oh, if I go down this route, then I don't need to do the work on myself. If I go down this route, then I do need to do the work on myself. And I feel like you've made a sacrifice somewhere in your life here. And this might actually be, not for all of you, because this is a collective reading, this might be for some of you that there is perhaps a legal battle going on. There's something to do with court or paperwork, maybe exchanging of properties, things like that. But it's something that there's something about it that's bothering you. So this sacrifice that you've made, or these things that are happening, there's something about commitment here, and maybe feeling like you can't commit. Maybe you're avoiding the path of commitment and going down a different route. Now, that might be necessary for you because maybe you've been down that route before and you felt trapped by it. So this is making a sacrifice to something that you feel is an old way of being, an old wound, if you like, that now it's sort of like, well, let's take a different path. And a path that's like with Tiwaz, it's pointing upwards. So it's kind of like it's pointing up to that higher self energy, which is that flow. And that's kind of where you're heading towards. So whatever you're doing right now, whatever decision you're not making the wrong decision, even if it feels difficult. It doesn't mean, though, that what it is that you are potentially sacrificing, it doesn't mean that things aren't going to manifest, but in a different way. So I think that's the energy here, is you're acting like you've cut ties, or, you know, building that dam in the river, like we said before, with algae as well, you know, creating those boundaries around yourself. It's not all over. It's not the end of things. You might have done that. Like, it's almost like I can feel like somebody's cutting ties, or like burning bridges. That's the thing that's coming through for me, is like burning bridges. But I do feel like that was shown as a commitment to yourself. I feel like you're being seen as protecting yourself, but also a commitment to yourself. And that actually looks quite attractive to those around you in your life. You know, for once, instead of just going along with something, you are committing to yourself and taking a stride. I'm not going to say a step, it's a stride in a direction that is just for you, that suits you. And it is going to feel uncomfortable because it's different to what you know, it's different to how you normally move. But that isn't going to always feel uncomfortable. It's not going to stay like that. So I'm going to have a look now at things that are affecting you now from the past. So what is affecting this person now that's come through from the past? Okay, we have Nordies, and Nordies is a rune of soul needs and also restrictions or restraint. Now, Nordies also relates to the very base centres, so it's like a primal will that's connected to this. So our anima and animus kind of energy is sort of like, you know, this might be connected to perhaps where you have been led by desire rather than by truthfully what feels good for you. It's more sort of like a spontaneous kind of, you know, quite an impulsive energy of sort of like, well, I'm doing this now, or this is satisfying a need for me, or this is a good dopamine hit. You know, it's kind of like, it can be around addictions and things as well. So perhaps if there's, you know, alcohol or drugs, sex, there could be all sorts of different addiction. I'm not saying that that's you, but you may have been around that kind of environment, and maybe this is where you're coming from. That's why you're protecting yourself, is you're in a space of. So for instance, if some of you who are watching this and it resonates with you about addictions, I feel like, you know, you are right now in a point of, you know, you're protecting yourself from what brings you into those addictions so you can come out of it. And that's like with the sacrifice down here, you're subconsciously, you are sacrificing things that you know no longer serve your higher purpose. So if that's you, then well done. That isn't easy to do. So if you're on that journey right now, well done. And those around you, you know, that love you, they will understand that. But maybe you need to be open with them about what you're doing so that you can get the support that you need. If you're doing it quietly without anybody knowing, with that boundary there, you know, that can be very, very difficult and actually create a little bit of isolation, which can make you feel a bit low. Now, if this is about you coming away from environments that have these addictions, maybe you've come out of a relationship or something that was difficult for you, potentially abusive, or just held you in a place that felt uncomfortable, like restricted, and now you are protecting yourself with those boundaries and things like that. Well, again, well done. It's not easy to step out of that. Sometimes it can take a long time to realise that you need to step out of that. This may be the 100th time that you've tried to. So it's difficult. And sometimes from what's affecting you right now from your past is these things sort of like ghosts hanging over you, or you worried perhaps that they're going to be following you into your future, that they're coming over with you. But right now it's about you. Don't worry about that. You know, you're doing the work, and it's just taking those little steps to bring you where you need to be. So Nordies is quite an important rune, actually. It brings you back to those soul needs, to, you know, you've recognised things from the past that are affecting you in that way, those addictions or that environment that had those addictions, and you've managed to sort of, I feel like somebody's sort of like really just trying to, it's a bit like Play-Doh or something, where it's like there's those strands just left there kind of thing. So you're watching yourself for all of those. But your higher self is clearing that space for you. Lagos is all about water energy, so it's very flowing. And the more work you're doing on yourself to release those addictions, this is helping you to bring that flow, which is beautiful. That's really good. And let's have a look what your future is looking like on here. Now, if you're listening to this and you're feeling like, well, actually, I'm still doing this that I wish I wasn't doing, you know, and it might, when I say addictions, it might be sort of like a habit or something that you know isn't serving your highest good, but perhaps it's become a bit of, you know, it's just become comfortable or something that you do. Just watch for that, because maybe this is helping you to recognise that, so that you can collapse it. Okay, it feels to me what you're moving towards is something really quite stable and solid. So I feel like through this process of collapsing what's happening there from the past, you're in this space of protection and full of boundaries. That higher self, commitment to self kind of connection is there, present in your subconscious mind. And the future is looking like what you're inheriting in a positive way. So it's all about family, Athala is. It's all about, you know, the positive aspects of the bloodline that we come from, you know, the things that we can adopt from there. But also, it's like a solid foundation of, you know, being around family. And I feel like I see a future with you. If you are looking to have a family, then a family situation is where you're headed. If maybe you've run away from this in the past, this is something that is calling to you and bringing you in. I feel you surrounded by people that actually love and care about you. It can also be about loved ones in spirit as well, placing that protection around you. So I feel like you are being guided right now in the direction that's right for you. And the direction that I feel they're telling me is about head towards family, head towards those that, you know, do actually love and support you, even if you don't think that they do. Maybe these people don't realise what they're supposed to do for you. Maybe you need to ask and tell them. So that's why sometimes algaes can be a blessing and a curse, because having boundaries with people is important. Protecting yourself sometimes is important, but sometimes to other people you can look like this spiky hedgehog that, you know, they're afraid to approach because they don't want to get pricked by it, but at the same time they want to help, they want to do something. So you may need to reach out to your loved ones. It is very family. I mean, this might not be blood family, this might be people on a soul level that have made you feel like home, or made you feel that connection of family. Yeah, so basically this is about you moving towards people in your life that have made you feel safe, and there's commitment there. I mean, as we've got in the subconscious mind, you are moving towards a space of commitment. And that is ultimately commitment to yourself, but through that, it's bringing forward for you your soul family, people that will honour that commitment. So I do see a lot of positiveness here, that's like that soul family kind of vibe, kind of environment. So you're doing well, you're doing really well. You just got to keep going with what you're doing, you know, keep that flow going from your higher self. Oh, okay, we have the Temperance card. So this is going to take time. You need patience with yourself. You are still in that space of, you know, protecting yourself. You are still there. And what I want to say is what's meant for you will still be there for you when you come out the other side. So take your sweet time. Take your time and do what you need to do for you. If somebody is pushing you, or if there are people around you that are trying to sort of stop you from doing what you're doing, then that tells you everything. It's showing you what actually isn't working for you, isn't right for you. You know yourself, and this is about you following that commitment to yourself. You know you need to have patience here. You know you need to be slow and steady and listen to your inner self. Okay. Oh, and we've got the Ace of Cups. So this is a new beginning that you're heading towards. And it's interesting, we've got that water, that flow energy on there. You are being sort of like driven by your higher conscience into a place of a new beginning. It's very fortunate. This can represent a new relationship, or it could represent a new job, or it could just represent a new chapter of your life, a new version of yourself that's coming through. Okay, so what are we looking at? Where is this person in terms of cards with Athala? What can you show me? Can you confirm what's happening on there? Let's see. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, we have the Lovers card, and we also have the Four of Swords. So what I'm picking up on here is that there's a time for patience and taking your time. And I think within that, you're going to learn so much about yourself. If you're not already, I feel like this is perhaps where you are right now at the moment. You are learning so much about yourself. There's something about pyramids on here as well. I don't know if you've been looking into Egyptian mythology and things, but it's got that conscience of, or you're going to Egypt maybe. But I've just picked, it feels like there's travel. I don't know why I'm getting that from this, but it's like with the wings and everything, there's a time for, you need to take a bit of flight here. You need to take some time away maybe from the people around you. And what you're looking for, it's in there in the background. It will, you know, you just got to take that time. Take your sweet time is what I'm hearing. And when you come back from it, this is the new chapter. This is that new beginning that we're talking about. And the new beginning appears to be about love. I feel like this could be potentially a new relationship. And with Athala here, you know, this is, I feel like something that you perhaps didn't realise that you needed, but now it's apparent it is, you know, it's what you need. But maybe you've backed away from that before. Maybe that hasn't felt comfortable. But through this period here of Four of Swords, you know, you've had a lot of time to think. You've been in your head a lot. And through, again, this one can be connected to collapsing those addictions. So with that Nordi's energy on here, I feel like, you know, whether this is, it could be smoking, it could be drinking, it could be gambling, it could be absolutely anything at all that you feel has been something that's kind of held you in a place or affecting your life that you would like. And I see you collapsing those things. I see you working towards, you know, getting rid of those things. You're going through a real cleansing process. watch your dreams as well and the people that are in your dreams, because I feel that might be connected to this energy on here. I don't know whether this is a brand new love or perhaps if it's somebody from your past coming through, but it's definitely somebody that loves you. It's definitely that protection, that you've got more than just one protection around you. I do feel like there's somebody, especially with the thala on there. I mean, this could be your loved ones in spirit that are placing that protection around you, but it could also relate to the protection of somebody as well that does love you on this plane, that wants you to feel that love. So that's quite interesting. It's nice to see. So I just want to see, is this a past love or is it a brand new chapter for you? So what are you heading towards with the lovers? Is past love or new love? Oh, I think right now you don't need to know. I don't want you to know that one. Are we going to ask again? Is this past love? Okay, well, we'll forget that question because I don't think you need to know that right now. But I just want to see, is this love, when are we looking at this? Do we have a time scale for this? When is this going to be happening? Because maybe if you've been going through this journey and it's been difficult for you, you need some hope right now. Perhaps a time scale is what you're looking for, is what you need. So when will this be? When will this beginning be happening? When is this going to be? Oh, okay. We have the Chariot on here. Now, the Chariot is number 7 in the Major Arcana. So I do feel like this could be 7 weeks. It could be 7 days. I don't feel like it's July or 7 months or anything like that. I feel like it's more, it's coming quicker than that. I feel like it's sooner than that. That's why I felt like I needed to do this reading today. So just watch for over the next week or over the next 7 weeks, the energy changing there for you, because something is coming towards you, something is moving there for you. I can see I think that might be the waxing moon on there. So between the new moon and moving into the full moon, I feel like that's possibly around the sort of time that this is going to start moving forward for you. Yeah, so that's interesting. And we have the sun as well. So if you're a divine feminine on here, then this is a divine masculine that is coming through. Or maybe you are the divine masculine, or actually, I mean, gender doesn't really matter. So it could be, you could be either or, but with the sun card, it's bringing in a divine masculine. So maybe this person, if you're masculine yourself and this is feminine that you are, that we're talking about, it may be that they actually have some masculine qualities that are good for you, that make you feel safe, or vice versa. So there's resistance here though, I feel. There is resistance. It's almost like it's still trying to be attached to an old version of yourself. And that's kind of blocking this transformation on here. I feel like over the past maybe 2 to 4 years, you've been through some heavy things, some things that perhaps you haven't quite really allowed yourself to grieve for, that are still kind of in your mind, that might be holding you back from fully being present in a relationship. So just watch that with this new energy, with the person that you're coming forward for, that you're working towards, because, you know, this is a different kind of energy to anything that you've experienced before. And that's because you're not bringing with you the things from the past. You're allowing this new energy to come through. You are much more committed to yourself, making sacrifices to things that are potentially harming your ability to move forward in life. So I do feel that that's what this relates to, is, you know, that release on there. We also have the Two of Cups on the bottom. So I feel like your insecurities right now, what is bothering you about where you've come from, whatever's happened in the past, and it might be that perhaps you haven't given all the information to a person, perhaps, and that's why you want to collapse these addictions and things, because maybe that's been a problem with this, or maybe the person that this reading is about, maybe they've had the problems with addictions and things. But just know that with that union, you know, it's just about being vulnerable and open and honest, so that you can have this kind of, I mean, to have the Lovers and the Two of Cups in your reading is just, you know, it's all pointing towards somebody wants to commit to you. And I feel like with, you know, the runes that you've got, so you've got like Tiwaz and Athala, you know, you want that commitment too. But maybe you felt like you're not bringing enough here, or maybe you felt like they're not bringing enough here, but it feels like you've gone away and done a lot of work on yourself. You're in that Four of Swords kind of like recovery stage on here, ready for this new beginning. I mean, you've got the Lovers, we've got the Ace of Cups, we've got the Two of Cups. There's a lot of love here, a lot of committed and new beginnings. It's beautiful. It's looking really, really good. And we also have underneath there the Star card. So this is a wish fulfillment. So perhaps this is something that you've been wishing for or wanting for some time. And we've got here as well that flow again, you know, the water. Maybe being around water is important to you. Maybe this is somebody that lives on water. Maybe this is someone that spends a lot of time around water, like lakes, or, you know, spends a lot of time doing water sports and things. I don't know what bird that is, but it reminds me of like herons. I don't know if you've seen a heron. We get them on our canals around here, and sometimes you see them and they're just really still. And I always like to watch them when they go to take off. It's like time stands still. They just sort of spread their wings and go off, kind of thing. Maybe there's something with that about sort of like, you know, appearances and what you think somebody thinks about you, or, you know, just be present in yourself, be still. And maybe that's what you're learning with algae here, is that sort of like patience with yourself, honor yourself. You know, you can have this life that you're looking for. You can have what you want here. And you're pointing at the moment, the things that you're doing, you're pointing towards this place of fulfillment. You know, it's almost like everything's geared up to try and protect you, but in a loving place, not in a restrictive place, which is where you've come from. You've come from a lot of people wanting to restrict you, wanting to keep you in a place for them. Maybe that's been through your whole life. Maybe that's just been recent for you. But with those restrictions, I feel like maybe addictions and things have come out of that, because that was something that was just for you, that you could control. You know, I'll say that because I've been there myself. You know, it's kind of like where you feel like, well, you know, this is just for me, and that it kind of gives you that dopamine hit almost. It makes you feel, it's a bit like retail therapy. It makes you feel good, and that might be one of the addictions or something on here for you. It might be about retail therapy. Maybe that's caused issues in a previous relationship and things, and you've gone away and thought about it. I do see on here though travel. So with the Three of Wands, I feel like you need to go away somewhere. It's like you're going on a journey. I don't feel like this is it is an inward journey, but I feel like you are going away somewhere overseas that's going to bring for you a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding about yourself, and actually what your needs are. So maybe you're right in the middle of this now, or this is coming for you, But there's a lot of water energy around here, so I feel like there's an experience that you're going to have to do with water that's kind of going to give you this feeling of like, I did it, I've managed to overcome this. And it's going to really show you that commitment to yourself and bring you closer to understanding what it is that's actually really necessary for you in your life. Yeah. So with Athala, it can be like, you know, collapsing those conditionings and things from the people that brought you into the world, or the people that are around you. Like I say, Athala doesn't necessarily mean your blood family. It could be your soul family that it relates to. It definitely feels like it's a partner here that it relates to as well. Somebody that feels like home. And that may have been said before, like you feel like home is what I'm getting. Okay. Right. So there is work still to be done, but you're in the process of that work now. That doesn't work. You're doing it. You're taking those risks. So these are moon cards, and I'm just going to yeah, they're all the right way around. I'm just going to shuffle these. These give you a word, something that can just give you an inspiration. Okay. We've got closure. So closure. Let's see if we can get another one on here to go with that, because I feel like, I mean, that landed in the past part as well. So it's kind of like, maybe you're looking for closure, maybe you don't feel like you've had closure on a particular event. So it might be that maybe you need to ask some questions here. You need to have a conversation to get that closure. And just as we did that, we've got the card Manifest. So yeah, you need some closure here. But this reminds me of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That reminds me of the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is about illusions and choices. So it's almost like there's something that you want to close down, but you haven't been able to close it down for some reason. Like you have the ability for closure here, or it feels like when this card fell out, it was a bit confusing because I feel like from the past, there has been closure here. You know, and you put yourself in this space of protection, of boundaries. Yet you don't feel like you've got closure. Like there's still something hanging over you here. So it feels like you keep going back and forth about different scenarios, different things that you could potentially change on this. So what is that about? Because it's almost like 1 minute you feel, yeah, I'm going to go for this. And the next minute you're like, well, actually, I'm going to look over here instead. I feel like perhaps it is this too many options, too many choices that perhaps has affected you from the past as well. But you're moving into an energy of like that commitment to yourself. It's like, well, let's sacrifice all the things that don't actually bring me fulfillment and work with what does bring me fulfillment. So this could be closure on it looks like a lot of different areas of your life. So maybe there's conversations to be had there. You know, closing down of things. This might be if you're serious and stepping into a committed relationship, it might be that you're closing down dating apps. Or people from the past that you've kept a connection with that you're like, actually, this isn't healthy for me. It could be to do with that. It could be cutting ties with work situations that don't suit you anymore. There's a lot of threads that you are collapsing on here. That's what it feels like to me. Or maybe you've already done that, but within it. And I feel like it is to do with people potentially that perhaps you've been dating, or just people from the past, relationships and things that you've kept in touch with but aren't actually bringing you fulfillment, and you've decided to cut those ties. That can actually make you feel more isolated. It can make you feel you know, a lot more lonely. But it makes sense now with this one, because that is about protection and having those boundaries. So perhaps you've been saying to people like, you know, I'm not willing to keep a friendship with you anymore. You know, this doesn't have to be romantic relationships. It could be platonic relationships, people that you just feel aren't fulfilling your life anymore, and you are taking those steps to collapse those. So that's what it feels like on there. So it feels like you're going through quite a lot at the moment. But there's beauty within that pain, because you're coming into a new stage of your life, a new way of being. And I can see, you know, this is why you perhaps having this reading today, because you needed to know what hope there is for the future. And, you know, we've got the Lovers, Two of Cups, the Chariot. You are on the right path. You're doing all the right things. It just feels a little bit uncomfortable right now, but don't stop. Keep going. And we have here manifest. So you see that path leading to the gateway there. You're doing all the right things. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing right now. And you are moving in a direction that is just beautiful. It's, you know, you are manifesting this path for yourself. And it's nothing like anything before. Because you keep seeing lots of little houses on the top on there. So there's something about stability here. And we've had this before in reading recently. Again, that Taurus energy is like, that stability is really important to you right now. And I think you're realising that's what you need at this point, is stability. And it's having the right kind of people around you, being in the right kind of environment. So that can actually relate to property as well, actually. So this could be about you finally finding a space that feels like home, that feels grounded. I do feel like you're an earth sign potentially, because earth signs do tend to want to feel more stable and in a comfortable environment. So if you haven't been feeling very comfortable at the moment, or if you feel like you've perhaps had a loss of money recently and things like that, Athala is a good sign that things are going to get better in that sense, and you are going to feel that space of home, of inheritance, you know, of property, that kind of thing. So material wealth can sometimes be presented by this rune. It looks like you've got everything going on for you, and you've done that through the work you've done from here, collapsing these addictions, really recognising what works for you in your life and what doesn't. You know, you're really standing up and saying to yourself, I'm not going to lie to myself anymore. I'm not going to pretend anymore. I'm going to be open now. I'm going to let this out. But I do feel like with algaes, there's a tiny bit of difficulty in that, because you're not comfortable with showing your vulnerability. You're not comfortable with really showing people how you actually feel, because maybe there's a fear of rejection there, or maybe you've done that in the past and you've got your fingers burnt, or maybe you're just not used to that. But now you are coming into a place of like, you know, you've got to do that. You know, you're exhausted from things that have happened in the past, and you're taking this time now to rest and recover. And this is what's bringing forward for you, is this place that you are heading towards. But remember, the journey is the destination. It's not all about the outcome. It's about how we get there and what we do ourselves to get there. I'm going to pick a different card, although I don't know what I've done with them. Okay. It doesn't look like I'm picking any of those cards, because I do. I know where they are. Bear with me 1 second and I will grab them. Okay, I've decided to get 2 packs instead. So I'm going to read first of all. So I do feel like this is a message of love, and I think this is what you needed to know. I think you did need to know that there is love coming into your life at some point, because I do get the sense that there's a little bit of an isolated feeling at the moment. You're feeling perhaps a little bit low, a little bit like, you know, nothing seems happy, or try not to isolate yourself. You can still have those boundaries, you can still have that protection around you, but interact with people as well. Because otherwise it can breed a little bit of bitterness. Let's have a look. I'm not saying you're bitter, I'm just saying that that's how it can feel sometimes. Okay, so we've got consider your foundation. Look at how committed you are to love. That's perfect, because we've got that in your subconscious, like we say. Are you committed to love? And I feel like you are becoming more committed to love. You've recognised actually what your needs are in life, collapsing the things that aren't fulfilling you, that aren't bringing you the love that you need. And you know that there is love for you there. And again, with Athala, I do feel like some of you are going to be either moving house, or you may be gaining a house here. But there's definitely a stable foundation that you're moving into. Definitely. And I feel like over the next couple of months, this is going to start to, you know, by May, I feel like you're going to be in a much better place, feeling more secure and stable and just content. You know what I mean? I think that's what you want right now, is just some peace and contentment. And that's where you're heading towards. That's what you are moving into. A lot of animals around here. We've got like fox and badgers, fairies. Now with the foxes, you know, that can be sort of like, I feel like there are things that need to be said. There's perhaps a little bit of secrecy that's gone on here. Maybe that's coming from you, or maybe it's coming from somebody else. But I do feel like it's like that closure on there. You need to be really open and just really sort of, you know, instead of, that's the thing with foxes, is like you only really see a glimpse of them every now and then, don't you? It's like they skulk around. I don't know, maybe you're watching somebody else right now, or maybe they're watching you. So just being aware of that, you know, if you're feeling something is going on like that, just be open and lay it all out, just speak. And with the badgers, that can be like a feeling of boundaries and that defensiveness. It goes with the algae quite well. So just maybe lower those boundaries a little bit. If you want to feel the love, this is what we have to sacrifice, is those patterns that we keep from the past. So those patterns that hold you back sometimes can be that defensiveness, you know, not allowing yourself to drop into vulnerability. If somebody is coming towards you with love and kindness, if you get defensive because you're afraid of that, you're dropping back into old patterns. Whereas if you lean into it, you might actually find that it opens up a whole new door of perception for you. But yeah, I think that's really lovely on there. I'm going to read the passage for you. So it's 50. Sorry. I managed to go through 43 minutes without needing to cough. And there it was. Okay, this is actually the last card in the pack, so it's like completion. Look at how committed you are to love. Love means committing without guarantees. In love, we give ourselves completely in the hope it will be lasting. Love is an act of faith. Surround yourself with love and know that your life will be better for it. Strong relationships and love can come from friendship. For lasting love, support those you treasure and be a genuine friend, so your relationships are based on affection, common values and shared respect. Take things slow. It's important not to rush. Release any fear you have about love. If a person brings out the best in you and you in them, things are on the right track. And this couple embraces as they look at a charming cottage. We see the couple from the back, and this indicates you may not have the full picture. However, there is no need to push or control what is unfolding. The candles in the tree branches bring light and positive blessings to you. So like that, what that's saying is, if you've seen them from the back, it indicates that you may not have the full picture. So right now, maybe you aren't seeing how this is going to unfold, or, you know, what's going to happen with this. Maybe you've got somebody in mind, but you're like, there's no communication or anything. You don't know what they're doing or even if they're around anymore. So just trust the process. Keep doing what you're doing and know that, you know, your higher self is bringing you into alignment, into flow of what's meant for you. So it is going to happen. You don't need to know how it's going to happen. I think when we shuffled before, didn't we ask for a time scale or something like that? And it just wasn't going to come out. So, you know, sometimes you just don't need to know these things. You just need to trust the process. So I'm actually going to pick an animal for you to go with this too. Okay, so, and these cards, they also have a little bit of a word on there for you that you can look at. So let's see, what animal resonates with the person whose reading this is? What do they need to know? Ooh. Okay, we've got luck there. That was the duck and the chrysanthemum, but I don't think that was the card that we need. So what animal resonates with this person right now? Is anything going to fall out? Whoa, okay, the whole blooming pack. I'm going to go with that one over there that fell first of all. Okay. Okay, we have the Martin and the Foxglove, which is mischief. So you need to have some fun right now. I feel like you need to go out and enjoy yourself. You've been a little bit too serious. I feel like there's a lot of, and okay, perhaps you've had to be serious. Maybe you've had to really focus on doing this right now. Almost like you're not allowing yourself to be happy at the moment. Maybe there's a fear there if somebody sees you being happy that you think that they're going to think you've moved on without them, perhaps. But actually, it's inspiring to see somebody moving on with their life, even if they aren't feeling fully happy or content, you know, just doing the best for themselves. And that's where you are right now, is just keep doing the best for yourself. Bring that self-love in, keep doing all the things that are good for you. So collapsing those addictions, eating healthy, you know, exercising, bringing yourself into a place of, like, you know, self-fulfillment. Because once you're happy in yourself and you're feeling more stable in yourself, that's when you're going to bring forward this relationship that's going to complement that. Yeah. So with mischief, the Martin and the Foxglove, let's read what that one is. These Roman numerals, tell you what. XX1V. What does that mean? Is that 24, is it? Have I got that right? You can let me know in the comments if you like. It is, it's 24, I think. So, I like these cards. Let me hold that up for you so you can see. The Martin and Foxglove represents the archetype trickster, the light-hearted mischief maker, the lover of chaos and spontaneity. Martins are a type of weasel known for their curiosity, quick movements and occasional aggression. Romanian folklore tells of martins playing tricks on horses, braiding their manes in the night so they wake to a tangled mess of hair in the morning. And foxgloves are said to be the home of fairies, another elusive and mischievous creature. For this reason, they're associated with riddles and secrecy. Pay attention to opportunities for spontaneity, travel and playfulness. A bit of light-hearted mischief, so long as it doesn't hurt anyone, can be healthy. So that goes in line with, where was it? The Three of Wands. So you are travelling, you are going away somewhere. I feel like there is an element of sadness around that, but actually just enjoy it. Just take that time for you, for yourself, and it's going to bring you to this place of, you know, you're going to really start to understand what you've been through, and you're going to come out on the other side, and what's waiting for you on the other side is this complete wish fulfillment, this stability, this ability to move forward, you know, that the Lovers and the Two of Cups, yeah, it's there, it's in your energy, it's in your web of Wyrd, yeah. So when we talk about the web of Wyrd, we're talking about our fate, our path, and you can take, you know, your destiny can be lots of different strands of that. You can take any kind of option you want, but ultimately it brings you back to your fate, and this is the fate for you. Everything you're learning about yourself right now, you've manifested this into being. and it's for a reason, it's for a purpose, and it's a divine purpose. It's bringing you into a place of recognizing, actually, you know, this is the life for me. This is what I want, where I want, where I want to be, and allowing that to manifest for you. So if there is the opportunity for travel plans, take them. Don't turn them down. But just, you can still be aware of your addictions and things. I always find as well, if you go somewhere else, like a new country and places like that, you can actually start being that version of yourself that you want to be, because nobody knows any different from you, do they? You know, so start from there. Allow yourself to do that. So we've got 2 of Wands as well. So yeah, again, I mean, 3 of Wands and 2 of Wands, it's kind of like you do need that time away. You need that space. And I feel like there is space between yourself and somebody else right now that maybe feels like home, or maybe you're separated from your family at this point. Maybe some of your family don't want you to go. Maybe they're sad that you're going. But you need this right now. This is your commitment to yourself. Yeah, you're being called to do that. You might not understand why, and maybe that's making you feel isolated. But it is going to bring you to what you're looking for. So have patience and keep taking those steps that you're taking to be that best version of yourself, because honestly, it is bringing you to this place. Now, it might be that maybe, like with this closure card, there's some conversations and things that you need to have to close down some things before you take this journey, so that you're not carrying any baggage with you, you're not taking anything with you. But it's a perfect opportunity for you to really untie a few things, and what's meant for you, it will always gravitate towards you. It will always come back to you. So that is your reading for today. If you would like to have a personal reading, I do offer personal readings. Please do like and subscribe to my channel as well. And I will be back very soon with another reading for you. So have a blessed day.